office. It was funny when I saw both of you. I was walking back to the office and I saw you there with your camera, you know, Mr. Half Glass Empty all the time. But I saw
Oh,
you
what
with that,
happened?
I saw you with the camera, like, oh God, what did we do? I mean, why are we in trouble? I thought you were taking a picture, like they're not letting us in, or they're not doing this. I was in a state of panic, like, oh, tell you the biggest issue I have is to be able to have this talk. You know, a lot of times I'll walk down the quad area and the kids will walk by me and they just want to get by, you know. And it's not that they're being disrespectful, but there is a huge wall between police. Let me tell you a story. When I was a young police officer, I worked in North Hollywood, over by where in the San Fernando Valley. And every day at the end of my shift at 3 o'clock, I'd pull into the police lot and I'd get out of my police car in my uniform. And the officers that were working the PM watch would take my car. And I knew and be like you two. Hey, how are you? How's things? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, they get into the car. I'd go in the locker and change, and they're getting their car ready to go out to work that night. And a lot of times when I would leave, the police cars were coming out to work the night shift, 3 to 11. I'd get off at 3. And there were times that I'd pull up to the stop sign to go left on Lancashire, and the police car would come behind me in my private car. And the police cars got the same two guys that I talked to that I gave them my car. But now I'm a civilian in my own private car. And when I looked through my rearview mirror, I felt uncomfortable. And I had just gotten out of the car. That was my car. And I still felt weird. So, you know, if I'm driving down the road and there's a cop near me, I still slow up and I feel weird. We're not any different than anybody else. Yeah, when you're in the cop car, it's one thing, but when you're not in it, you feel uncomfortable. So I get why somebody would feel uncomfortable. I get why a person of color walking down the street, having a police car pull next to them would panic and think they're going to pull them over for no apparent reason. And guess what? A lot of times they're going to pull them over for no apparent reason. And I think where I get in trouble a lot of times with the cops is that I tell the truth. You know, I say, no, this is the reality of what goes on out there. And we need to kind of figure out what we're going to be able to do to stop that from happening. But if you're asking me, do police stop people of color for no apparent reason? The answer is yes. And if I told you no, you'd say, you're wrong. You're lying to me. You know, right. So what I'm saying is we've got a lot of work to do when it comes to that racial divide and when it comes to those issues. And I honestly don't know where to start with all of it. So, but a lot of times I think I tell people this, listen, there is a reason why people don't like the police. There is a reason why people become paranoid with the police. And I'm not going to pretend like it isn't true.
Right.
I mean, pretending like it isn't true is doing us a disservice here when it comes to try to strengthen this relationship. And that really is where we go back to the customer service aspect of it.
Right.
But I can talk about customer service on campus, but I need to see that at San Bernardino PD and LAPD and everybody else has to feel the same way, that there's got to be a customer service. You are our customers. We work for you.
Right.
Now, would I have said this to you 40 years ago as a young police officer? The answer is no.
Right.
It was a different world, you know, and with age, you grow and you become more mature. You know, my 7 years in Oakland was probably the best 7 years of my life to be able to work with those kids and see some of the, you know, issues that they had to deal with on a regular basis. So I've learned a lot over my career, and I want to, you know, this is coming to my last rodeo, so to speak. I'm not going to be doing this for many, many more years, but I want to make sure that I leave this university in a better place than when I got here. And I want to make sure I leave the university with the relationship between the police officers in a better place. What I was trying to get at is we very seldom have a chance to talk to a group of students, or at least I do. You are the first 2 students that I've talked to since January 17th.
Oh, wow.
Now, COVID issues, summer school, all that stuff. But if you can put groups of students together to want to have conversations, I'm always available for that. So just let me know.
Okay, that's awesome.